black magic removal, voodoo, witchcraft, demons, dark energy, get ex-love back, husband-wife and relationship issue, psychic reading, palm reading, face reading, horoscope reading, and that's not all. If you're longing to reunite with a loved one, he's here to assist you as well. One call can change your life. Call now Master Vishnu at +5 926 329943. Take the first step towards a brighter future. 2,500 plus satisfied clients, located in all over Georgetown, Guyana.
Club Twilight presents Sunday 26 January, the big people after lunch and oldies bacchanal. Yes, at Club Twilight, sideline down Buxton North. Music by Supercat One Man Band, Camps Audio, Disco Baby and popular DJs. Check it out. It's the big people after lunch oldies bacchanal at Club Twilight. Sunday 26 January. It's gonna be a back in time movie.
Welcome to Dinner Under the Stars. Indulge in a culinary feast prepared by our talented chefs, featuring locally sourced ingredients and exquisite flavors. Every bite will take you on a culinary journey, from unforgettable starters to delectable desserts. Relax to the soothing sounds of the stylistics and blue magic as the stars twinkle above, creating the perfect ambience for a romantic evening or memorable gathering. Join us for Dinner Under the Stars. Reserve your table today and create memories that will last a lifetime.
Stories this evening, sponsored by Corps, bringing value home. 2025 elections without biometrics and a clean voters list will give credence to GECOM's wrongdoings. Guyana Trades Union Congress. Joint opposition called on to aggressively address GECOM's decision on biometrics for upcoming elections. Every Guyanese will have equal access and opportunity to Guyana's wealth. Hughes after presidential endorsement. And Budget 2025 to strengthen security sector. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Aletha Grant with the Tuesday, 21st January 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. Should the joint opposition enter the 2025 general and regional elections in the absence of biometrics and a clean voters list, they would give credence to the wrongs of the Guyana Elections Commission. So says the Guyana Trades Union Congress. Travis Chase has been following that story.
The joint opposition comprising the People's National Congress Reform, Alliance for Change, and the Working People's Alliance are all on record demanding that each voter be digitally fingerprinted and verified at the polling place to avoid voter impersonation or multiple voting during the 2025 general and regional elections. Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, Justice Retired Claudette Singh, Friday last said the implementation of biometrics cannot be done for the upcoming elections. Now, General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, believes that should the joint opposition enter the 2025 general elections, they will be accepting the wrongs done by GECOM.
Anytime they enter, what they are doing is giving credence to the wrongs that are being committed by GECOM.
The joint opposition has said too that it would be ready to vote in favor of an amendment to Guyana's constitution to facilitate the use of biometrics, and that the issues presented by GECOM's Chief Elections Officer Vishnu Prasad in his feasibility study does not amount to insurmountable or irresolvable issues. However, the GTUC's General Secretary has some reservations over the parliamentary opposition entering the elections without biometrics and a clean voters list.
If they decide that they are going to enter the elections at this juncture with biometrics not in place, a new voters list is not in place, then only thing I can conclude as a citizen that no longer politics is about the people. Politics is about the individuals who want to enter the National Assembly.
In November of 2024, GECOM's Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings said the list of eligible voters, now totaling 718,715, would increase for the 2025 general and regional elections because registrations in November 2025 have not yet been included. That list should be sanitized, stresses Lincoln Lewis.
I believe that all of us need to join the march to demand biometrics and the new voters list.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Bharat Jagdi, already said that his party would support the introduction and funding of biometrics if the Guyana Elections Commission makes such a decision, and once there is no delay to the holding of general and regional elections. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Travis. It is inexcusable that the Guyana Elections Commission can now say no to biometrics for the 2025 general and regional elections. That's the position of the Guyana Trades Union Congress. Here again is Travis Chase.
Chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, is insensitive to the needs of the electorate. That's the view of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, GTUC. The GTUC's General Secretary, Lincoln Lewis, questioned the chairman's position that the implementation of biometrics for the 2025 general and regional elections cannot be done.
For the chairman to now say that the time is inadequate and what have you, is indicative that she's very insensitive of the needs of the election. The GECOM is asked, to do what you call, provide for us not only transparent election, but elections that are free and fair and free from fear. And if the voters list and biometrics are necessity for delivering that, then they must concentrate on that.
The GTU says the decision by GECOM's chairman is inexcusable. Lewis explains why.
In 1990, when that commission was set up, when Carter came and that commission was set up, the current structure of the election commission was established. The election was put back for 2 years, right? This question here is not about early or late election. This issue here is about transparent, free, and fair elections.
Lewis chided Claudette Singh and reminded that it was the very GECOM that was able to make laws to deliver a recount of the 2020 elections, which was upheld by the courts all the way to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
She has to deliver. I call on her to deliver. She and the commissioners. This is not about partisan. This is not about PVP or PNC. This is about what is right. They need to do this thing. They need to deliver elections that at the end of those elections, they can be acceptable by everybody.
GECOM, according to Lewis, must remember that it has the responsibility to ensure free, fair, and credible elections, and elections free from fear. Lewis demands that the Claudette Singh-led GECOM must answer to this nation why it has not delivered in accordance with its mandate.
If she has not done her job, for over 5 years she's been there, since 2019 she's been there. If she has not done her job of putting things in place for a transparent, free and fair election, she has to start now.
The GECOM chairman has cautioned that the use of biometric fingerprint identification for voting could not be used as the sole means for identifying electors at polling stations, or that would amount to a violation of Guyana's constitution. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
The Working People's Alliance on Monday called for aggressive action. Richards reports.
The leader of the Working People's Alliance WPA, Dr. David Hines, during his party's weekly press conference on Monday, called for the joint opposition to aggressively come together to contest the decision made by the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, on the absence of biometrics at the upcoming polls.
WPA calls on the joint opposition to reject the chair's ruling and aggressively mobilize public opinion and action to pressure GECOM to reverse it.
He reiterated that there cannot be credible elections without, at a minimum, biometrics, a credible voters list, and GECOM being impartial. Dr. Hines highlighted that without biometrics, the results from the elections will be questionable.
This, for the WPA, is a sure recipe for disorder, which could hang around the neck of the country for a long time.
The leader of the party pointed out that there is no law that prevents the Election Commission from using biometrics at the next election, and this is a view that the opposition-appointed commissioners have advanced. He added that they will support any legislation supporting biometrics in the lead-up to the elections.
We have long supported a move to the National Assembly to pass the necessary legislation in time for the pending election.
GECOM's chairman, Justice Retired Claudette Singh, Friday last announced that the commission would not be implemented biometrics for the upcoming general and regional elections. The GECOM chair, in arriving at her decision, said the time frame to successfully complete critical tasks is limited given the elections is merely months away. Therefore, she's convinced that biometrics could not be properly introduced. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thank you, Daisy. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. With hopes of restoring true democracy to Guyana, one political movement is adamant that the citizenry must play a leading role in the development of the country's policies. Antonia Day has that story.
As the race to the 2025 general and regional election heats up, founder of the People's Movement, Nigel London, is adamant that drastic changes must be made to the current model of governance. During an exclusive interview with Nightly News, London posited that Ghana must resort to true democracy, which is the governance or the rule of the people.
The people of Guyana must understand that we are empowered to move the country forward, hence the terminology, the people's movement. People will move this country in a direction that it should have been in reference to the Constitution itself, which speaks to us being named the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
The religious leader noted that the time has come for Guyana to return to a place where citizens govern the country, but are represented in the National Assembly. He noted that Guyana's major two political rivals, the People's National Congress Reform PNCR and the People's Progressive Party Civic PPPC, has solely contributed to a polarized society. London confirmed that his entry in the elections race is not to compete against the two parties, but to work with whosoever has the mantra of true leadership.
And beyond seeking leadership in reference to the presidency of this nation, I seek leadership in reference to the people understand that we are the ones who lead. It's about the person gaining office, it's about the people gaining authority or regaining it.
Mr. London also stressed the need for changes to Guyana's Westminster Constitution as it relates to the powers of the executive.
Is anything that should be called the executive president of the country, vested with so much power, even that of saying you're immune essentially to prosecution and these kinds of things. It is an ideology that we're trying to propel in Guyana, where Guyanese, again, understand that the Constitution itself states that we lead our country through representation. That has been eliminated by the political culture, and it has to change.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day will join us again, and he will tell us that the leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, following his presidential endorsement, committed to ensuring every single Guyanese have equal access and opportunity to the nation's wealth.
The base foundation philosophy, which underpins everything that we do, is to uplift the wealth and circumstances of all Guyanese equally across the board.
That was leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, in an exclusive interview with Nightly News on Tuesday. The Alliance for Change over the weekend concluded its first meeting with its National Executive Committee for 2025, renewing its commitment to building alliances with key political parties and stakeholders. In that meeting, party members and executives endorsed Mr. Hughes as their presidential candidate ahead of this year's general and regional elections. Hughes was asked what his modus operandi would be when dealing with the ruling People's Progressive Party Civic.
Our commitment is to overthrow what the People's Progressive Party stands for today and the principles that it currently holds and reflects by its conduct.
The presidential candidate and attorney at law expressed that he is humbled by the endorsement of the candidature for these upcoming elections, but his mantra is unchanged.
Our concentration is going to be on that upliftment, and at the same time, a commitment in the way in which we manage the fortunes of this country. We have to work towards balancing our budget.
Hughes said his party, once given the opportunity to take up leadership, will empower every citizen at a pace where they can own their own business and equally benefit from the country's wealth.
Educational programs across the board, not just for those in school or just left school, to be able to put each citizen in a position where they are better equipped to either open their own businesses or get better employment in what is going to be an oil and gas economy for the next 10 to 15 years.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In the face of climate change and the rising sea levels, government has prioritized coastal protection by allocating some $8.2 billion in the 2025 national budget. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
During his 2025 budget presentation in the National Assembly last Friday, Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance and public service, Dr. Ashni Singh, announced an allocation of $8.2 billion for Guyana's sea and river defense. The minister recalled that shortly after returning to office in 2020, the government faced the immense challenge of addressing a breach in the Maikoni Sea defense given the threat it posed.
Our government was confronted with the task of addressing the catastrophic damage caused by a breach in Maikoni.
This breach resulted in the flooding of extensive farmland and residential areas, significantly impacting livelihoods. Dr. Singh highlighted the considerable progress made by the Ministry of Public Works in ensuring Guyana's coastline remain resilient.
In 2024, $8.2 billion was expended to upgrade and maintain our coastal resilience. In 2025, the sum of $8.2 billion is budgeted towards further strengthening the endurance of our sea defense infrastructure.
Additionally, more than 1,200 hectares of mangrove forests have been restored. This effort merges ecological preservation with engineering solutions, providing sustainable protection against rising sea levels while bolstering biodiversity. The $8.2 billion allocated in the 2025 budget will support coastline defense projects in critical areas including Belgium, Bengal, Den Amstel, Ordenemen, and Zeelandia. Tiana reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Join us after this break. We have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back as we continue. The government has announced a mammoth $108.7 billion in the 2025 national budget to further enhance Guyana's security sector. Tiana Cole has the details.
Dr. Ashley Singh, Senior Minister in the Office of the President, with responsibility for finance in his budget presentation Friday last, outlined government's plans to enhance national security come 2025. A total of $34.4 billion has been allocated to the Guyana Police Force, which includes $1.7 billion for the construction of the 12-story Brickdam Police Station, $1 billion towards 18 police stations and posts, and $6.2 billion for the Safe Country Initiative, which includes divisional headquarters and command centers.
Since coming into office, we have completed several projects aimed at upgrading the police force's infrastructure, including the construction and rehabilitation of 23 police stations, 14 buildings of strategic importance, 5 command operating centers, 5 divisional headquarters, 4 IT training complexes, and 5 living quarters.
The government remains committed to improving the prison system and has allocated $6.2 billion towards infrastructural upgrades at correctional facilities across the country, as well as training programs for inmates and officers. More than 1,600 inmates are expected to benefit, and some 400 prison officers will undergo specialized training to enhance their management and security capabilities.
In ramped-up training in the prison service, including technical and vocational training to provide opportunities for successful inmate rehabilitation so that our inmates can return to society once they have done their time.
The Guyana Fire Service will also see an expansion of its capacity, with 7 new fire stations set for completion in 2025 at locations such as Charity, Parika, and Maikoni. In 2024, $11.6 million was spent on training, while $30 million is budgeted for 2025. Additionally, advanced firefighting equipment has been procured to ensure the fire service is adequately equipped to respond to emergencies.
We will be training, collaborating with the discipline services to train a volunteer firefighting brigade so that at every single NDC there will be capability to respond to local level firefighting emergencies with.
Specialized training remains a cornerstone of the government's efforts to strengthen the security sector. In 2025, $250 million has been allocated for the training of over 1,700 police ranks in the areas of forensic video analysis, cybersecurity, and crime scene management. Furthermore, 400 prison officers and 400 firefighters will undergo training to improve their skills in prison management and emergency response. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Meanwhile, former Minister of Finance Winston Jordan has shredded the government to pieces over what he termed a disastrous 2025 national budget, which ignores the woes of the working class. Antonio Day reports.
This budget is a disaster. And its disaster is magnified because this is an election year.
That was former Minister of Finance Winston Jordan speaking on Nation Watch as he added his voice to a long list of critics following the presentation of the 2025 national budget. The $1.3 trillion budget, according to Jordan, clearly ignores the woes of the poor and working class citizens.
The long and short for the average person in the man in the street and so on, he don't want to hear all these fancy things about indices and prices and so on. What he is facing, right, food on the table, and what he is facing is a brutal set of price increases day in and day out.
Jordan, an economist and former budget director, noted that the government's $100,000 cash grant measure and an increase in the income tax threshold from $100,000 to $130,000 will fail to make a significant impact on the current level of poverty experienced by the ordinary Guyanese.
48% poverty cannot be solved by a one-off cash grant. 48% poverty cannot be solved by an increase in the threshold from $100,000 to $130,000.
This year, the government has allocated $9 billion to address the escalating cost of living. According to Jordan, the government has failed to provide a clear action plan to realistically address the continued high prices of goods and services faced by the Guyanese people on a daily basis.
Poverty has to be solved ultimately by long-term policies, by structural reorientation of the economy, by the creation of permanent jobs.
Jordan posited that Guyanese deserve better and the government is in a position to meet the needs of citizens, but is reluctant to do so. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The University of Guyana has received its first universal institutional accreditation in its 62 years of existence. Daisy Richards reports.
The University of Guyana has received universal accreditation, and the Minister of Education, Priya Chan, in her address, said this is a significant milestone for Guyana's premier learning institution.
It places our graduates on a different level now. If you're coming from an accredited university, it means something when you go to a university that is looking for accreditation.
She added that the university is on the cusp of a new era.
This is going to be a university that is fully funded by the state.
Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Paloma Mohammed Martin, highlighted that although there are trials and tribulations within the university, they have never dropped the ball.
While this is a piece of paper for most people, this is the beginning and the fulfillment of a long pent-up need.
Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic Engagement, Emmanuel Cummings, whose department was at the head of the achievement, said that it was a long and extensive road, with the process beginning since 2021. The accreditation will enhance the institution's reputation and credibility, will attract and retain students, ensure seamless access to funding and resources, and increase students' employability, receive global recognition and mobility, and continuous improvement. It must be noted, though, that the university over the years did receive accreditation for specific programs. For HGP Nightly News, I am Dacia Richards.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Visit Gaffur's Tiles and Sanitary Ware Department for stunning designs and the best in wall and floor tiles for your kitchen, bathroom, outdoor, steps, living room, and more. The Tile Department also provides products to clean, polish, and protect your tiles. Tile trims to give your tile area a complete look. Tint sets for both porcelain and ceramic tiles, along with a variety of grab colors. Not forgetting tile paste to lay tiles on wood and concrete surfaces. Our line of products combine the ideal blend of style and innovation and meet the needs of every customer. We stock a vast variety of kitchen sinks, basins and faucets, toilets in a variety of colors and designs, along with every accessory to accentuate. Stylish double-mirrored bathroom cabinets, clear and frosted bathroom doors and enclosures. Remember, for superior customer services, superior quality and competitive prices, it's Gaffur's, the name you can trust.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of the Regional News. U.S. President Donald Trump said that his administration would likely stop buying oil from Venezuela and was looking, quote-unquote, very strongly at a South American country. Quote-unquote, it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office hours after his inauguration. Quote-unquote, we don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. Trump's envoy for special missions, Richard Grenell, had earlier said he spoke with multiple officials in Venezuela and would begin meetings early Tuesday, days after the outgoing Biden administration imposed new sanctions on the government of President Nicolas Maduro. Grenell, who served as acting intelligence chief at the end of Trump's first term, also planned to meet with Venezuelan opposition officials in Washington on Tuesday. Since 2019, Venezuela's oil industry has been under U.S. sanctions designed to curb its oil income. However, Chevron has been allowed since 2022 to ship Venezuelan oil to the U.S. to recoup unpaid dividends from joint venture partners. During his campaign, Trump called Maduro a quote-unquote a dictator after he pursued a maximum pressure campaign against him during his first term from 2017 to 2021, including imposing harsh sanctions on the South American country and its oil industry. Former President Joe Biden briefly rolled back some of the Trump-era restrictions following electoral promises from Maduro, but then reinstated them, saying the Venezuelan leader had reneged on pledges for a fair democratic vote. Newly sworn-in President Donald Trump on Monday revoked the Biden administration's last-minute decision to remove Cuba from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism. Just hours after his inauguration to his second term, Trump signed a so-called recession of then-President Joe Biden's January 14 move that would have lifted the island's designation as a terrorist-sponsored nation. Trump's decision among dozens of revocations of what the incoming White House deemed quote-unquote harmful order and actions by his Democratic predecessor effectively keeps Cuba on a list that Republican president himself placed Cuba on at the end of his first term in 2021. Biden's announcement last week, which was accompanied by Cuba's agreement to free more than 500 prisoners from its jails, appeared aimed at rolling back many of the sanctions put in place by Trump during his previous 4 years in office. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel responded on social media late yesterday, calling Trump's decision to revoke Biden's measures and quote-unquote act of mockery and abuse. Cuba, which has always steadfastly denied any support for terrorism and began releasing a small number of prisoners as part of a broader plan negotiated with the Vatican. But with Trump's decision, it was unclear whether those releases would continue. Removal of Cuba from the terrorism list would have eased related sanctions on an island already suffering a deep economic crisis. Newly sworn-in U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday he will declare illegal immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border a national emergency, send troops there, and ramp up deportations of criminal offenders. Outlining the crackdown in his inaugural address, Trump said he would invoke a 1798 wartime law known as the Alien Enemies Act to target foreign gang members in the U.S., a legal authority last used to detain non-citizens of Japanese, German, and Italian descent in internment camps during World War II. Trump also said he would designate criminal cartel as foreign terrorist organizations. Shortly after the inauguration, U.S. border authorities said they had shut down outgoing President Joe Biden's CBP-1 legal entry program, which had allowed hundreds of thousands of migrants to enter the U.S. legally by scheduling an appointment on an app. Existing appointments were canceled according to the U.S. Custom and Border Protection. Trump, a Republican, recaptured the White House after promising to intensify border security and deport record numbers of migrants. While Trump criticized Democrat Biden for high level of illegal immigration during his presidency, migrants' arrests fell dramatically after Biden toughened his policies in June and as Mexico stepped up enforcement. Republicans say large-scale deportations are necessary after millions of immigrants crossed illegally during Biden's presidency. There were roughly 11 million immigrants in the U.S. illegally or with temporary status at the start of 2022, according to a U.S. government estimate, a figure that some analysts now placed at 13 million to 14 million. In several Mexican border cities, migrants saw their appointments on Biden's CBP-1 app canceled just after Trump took office. Some 280,000 people had been logging into the app daily to secure an appointment as of January 7. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
The 2025 elections without biometrics and a clean voters list will give credence to GECOM's wrongdoings. Guyana Trades Union Congress. Joint opposition called on to aggressively address GECOM's decision on biometrics for upcoming elections. Every Guyanese will have equal access and opportunity to Guyana's wealth. Hughes after presidential endorsement. And Budget 2025 to strengthen security sector. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Aletha Grant. Thanks for watching.